Right, let's start commentary. So, it's Friday night. That means it's time for Ion Sprint. And going into the final round of the championship, we have three drivers separated by only 6 points, isn't it? Off the top of my head. And that is Blackbird. I think Weston's leading the way, both on the same amount of points. I'm just checking my phone now. They are on 217 each. Blackbird on, I think, Countback is first. FBL actually is second, 217. Weston's is third with 211. And then Gunners is still mathematically in with a chance on 192. But the only way he's winning the championship is if Blackbird, FBL, and Weston's all DNF, and I would probably have to guess that Gunners would also need a fastest lap point to get that win. But we'll find out. It's only 13 laps, which makes it even crazier, considering three drivers are in with a chance. But we'll see. I know Josh is going to be a factor as well today, so that's what. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how that comes across. I would normally be racing, but I've done commentary in the past in DTF1, which is probably dead now, with Josh previously, for those who don't know. So I'm looking forward to doing this. Just check the recording. I hope everything will be okay. I think it should be. And here we go into short quali. Which, to be honest, I think we're going to see about 15 minutes of calm before the storm. Pretty much. All right, here we are, Suzuka, Japan, a place I have been to in real life for the 2023 Grand Prix when I lived in Japan for a little while, and it was very interesting actually walking around the track because you just see a different side of it really, and it is very kind of wild, and you're walking around on sort of gravelly bits of track around. So, and to get up to Spoon, there was some kind of slightly wilder areas. Obviously, there's still had like decent paths and everything, but it was an interesting experience. I was able to walk about a week before the Grand Prix in 2023. I I went up there just to check the place out a week before, and I was able to walk from kind of the grandstands, which are to the right of your picture, all the way around to Spoon, and then once you're at Spoon, you can't walk any further around at the kind of bottom of the track towards 130R, but there is various kind of crisscrossing tunnels underneath the track to get your way to get around to the stands on the other side of Yes's, or you can just walk around the sort of outside of turn one to get there. First out on track leading the way is Packer. I think I'm gonna keep an eye on probably either Gunners or Westerns. I think for the first runs, Kipu is further back, Mikazolo. Josh is still in the pits. He'll be one to look out for. Westerns did say he set a personal best in time trial, but is that just a bit too much flex? And it could even jinx him. I always think you have to be careful what you say before a race, because you don't want to say, I always feel like sometimes you can say something and it's just going to go the other way, but we'll find out. We've got 15 minutes to go. The two Mercedes and the Ferrari relatively close, but they'll make some space into that last corner. Yellow flags for the slowdown. I think we are going to keep an eye on Weston's since he is up there in the championship. Blackbird isn't far behind either, but we'll go first with Weston's across the line for his first time lap. Blackbird is out on the medium compound tyre, but I would be shocked if he didn't do softs later on. Weston's into turn one we go. There are some cars ahead. Hopefully no one's going to make a mistake. Looks pretty good there. And is there a car the wrong way round? There's a Ferrari in the grass. I think they're still going. I don't think that's a retirement just yet. I think that's Micazolo. Some of these drivers we did do F2 in Japan recently as well, but obviously a very different beast they are driving out on track. Weston's into the hairpin, looking quite good again, looking solid. He is a very good driver. It's going to be interesting to see where people qualify today. FBL doesn't look so confident in the chat. You know, I think it's a very hard track to come into for the championship decider, and it's a freeway battle because with Suzuka, for me, it's the hardest track in the game. I would say even harder than Monaco. That's just my opinion. Maybe not so much this year, but I think previously it has been. Maybe not so much this year. But Packer goes quickest, 129.1. Weston's is going to approach the line. Gunners goes a second quicker over his teammate, but Weston's 7/10 up on Gunners. And a Ferrari, Kipu crosses the line, and here comes Blackbird on the mediums. Blackbird third, but obviously time to find once he gets onto those soft tyres. Weston's 3/10 up on Kipu, who's no slouch either. The McLaren is currently facing the wrong way. Got to be quick about it here because there's not. He did well there, I think, because actually that first sector right now is very busy. Should we see what Josh is up to? Is he on a lap? I think he maybe is. I didn't notice him coming out, but he's in the pits. Interesting. Micazolo is retired from the session. I'm going to guess, based on the track map, that he must have had a spin and hit the wall. And another yellow flag in Sector 1. The driver's struggling to get laps on the board. Most of them have. Lexus and FBL approaching. FBL casting doubts over his championship prospects. He crosses the line, only P5. He's quite a bit off Gunners as Lexus puts his Williams up to P3, and it's 1 and 3 for Williams so far in this session. Quite promising. I think Lexus is a driver we don't see every week, but I think he has put in quite good performances. And when I won China quite a few weeks back because of the rain coming, if he had stayed out like I did, I think he would have been in with a shout anyway, because I think he was, I can't remember if he was ahead of me or behind me, but we were quite similar. And then he pitted and dropped off. Grumpy might be a little bit grumpy right now because it looks like he had a bit of dirt on his tyres. Josh is back, and I'm not sure what Josh is doing actually, but maybe he wants to qualify at the back and then just overtake drivers in front. But that is a risky strategy. He's back out on the mediums. A safety car would make things interesting in the race, but as I said, it's only 13 laps of racing for the Freeway Championship. And I mean, if there is a safety car, that's going to eat up a lot of laps. It's just going to allow people to save energy and hold position. Kipu, I think, went again. I'm not sure if he pitted or not. Lexus maybe did as well. It's hard to tell whether or not they're on in laps or not, because I don't get that information on the left. I only get out the lap. But here we go. Lexus, yeah, is definitely on an in-lap, but Kipu did find time in the first sector. He's only just over 3/10 off Westerns. Here we go. 130R and Casino Triangle to go. Keeps it within the boundaries very well there. Gets on the brakes. Attacks the curbs. Sticks it. No, it sticks it into the pits. Never mind. Maybe he made a mistake somewhere. Or maybe it just was a planned pit stop. And FBL is cutting grass like Valtteri Bottas at Austria there. He must be on an in-lap, which is Captain Obvious kind of statement, but yeah. Josh, I think maybe this is his lap. The most hated driver in all of Ion. No one wanted him to join Ion Sprint, but he did. And no one wanted him to join Ion Light, but he did. And he is such a competitive driver. And he is going to play a part if he can back up FBL today. 9 minutes to go, about halfway through the session. There is a Mercedes slow in Sector 1 as well. Josh into Spoon we go. He is, I think, going to get a toe off his teammate as well. Perfect synchronization from the Alpine. They're not in the same party as far as I'm aware. And they do this quite a bit, but it's a bit more on an ad hoc basis. But very well done there, actually, especially considering... Oh, and Joe! That was poor by Josh. He lost it under braking. Very poor by Josh. I don't know what to say about that, actually. I'm quite surprised that Josh would do that. I don't expect that from him. And he is still P10, but I do wonder whether or not he is just going to start at the back. I do think he might just be planning to do it, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see. Who's on a lap right now? Grumpy is... Packer is the wrong way around at the hairpin. Here goes the sole McLaren driver in the session. And he goes up to P8. 5/10 off Packer there. Gunner's on a lap. Blackbird is improving. Blackbird is improving. Across the line we go. And he's P1. He's P1 by 5/10. Big margin. I'm sure Westerns will go again, but that is a big margin. And that does put Blackbird in pole position, provisional pole position. It also puts him in pole position to get the championship. But there is still laps of racing to go. Here we go with Gunners around Spoon. Still in with a mathematical chance. He'll need a miracle. Gunners is improving by 4/10. That puts him in the frame to get ahead of Kipu, but not many corners left to go in the final sector. Looking pretty good. The engine's sounding off, but I don't think that's anything to do with his driving. And Gunners up to P3. Good lap by the Scot. Right. I'm not sure if anyone is now on a lap. Because, yeah, Blackbird in lap. FBL in lap. Grumpy in lap. I think the only driver we're going to see soon on a hot lap is definitely Josh. But I'm looking forward to Josh's attempts to try and win FBL that championship. But FBL is 6 points back on both Blackbird and Western, so he does have a lot to do. And FBL only in P6 so far, and a second off the Williams driver Lexus. So Josh would have to do a lot of blocking and looking. I mean that is. I think FBL is a driver who's probably quicker in the races. He did say in the chat before the race that he might struggle here today, but he is 2 seconds off the provisional pole time of Blackbird. 2 seconds. That is a lot of time. A lot of time indeed. Here comes Josh, though. I'm interested to see, though, whether or not he does start at the back. But I think he needs to start further forward to block. Otherwise, he's just chasing them. And he's not got enough laps to chase and chase. He needs to get a lap, I think, a competitive lap on the board and just see what he can do in the race from a more forward-facing position. It's going to be hard. I'm not really sure how quick his sector time should be. So I think we're just going to watch him go around and then cross the line and just kind of wait and see. I mean, his Sector 2 split will be coming up shortly. Into Spoon we go. Glances the curbs all rather nicely. Does miss the apex a little bit there, but I think he'll probably get away with that. And it's all about power. How low are your wings? He's 110.5. In the third sector, we'll go on board here just to see whether he loses under braking again. I wonder if he hit the grass on the left, maybe, on that earlier lap. Because I don't know why he would lose it under braking. Across the line we go. Josh in P2. In P2 by about 4/10 over Westerns. I mean, I know, if it was me, I know what. I think actually the strategy is quite obvious. If Josh gets out in front, I think there's a very obvious strategy that should be done. But whether or not they'll do it, I don't know. I mean, Josh as well. I mean, you could say it would be a dodgy strategy, but I mean, Josh could just slap the mediums on or something, start on the mediums, and he could just basically continue until the final lap of the race. If he really, does need to put a blocking job on and just stay out and just do not let Blackbird or Westerns pass. But they've just got to engineer it so that FBL does somehow get ahead of Josh. But he's he's 1, 2, 3, 4, I think about 5 places behind. Four drivers separating Josh from FBL. But I think it's going to be tough for FBL. I mean, I don't know if he's going to find a second or not in this lap. Maybe he will, because maybe he made a mistake on the earlier run. But yeah, I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I don't really mind who wins. I'm quite neutral in this. I've only really been in the league for this section of the league, I've only been in Ion Sprint for the last kind of handful of races, so I really don't mind who wins. I'm just hoping that we get to see an exciting championship battle in the final race of the season. That's what I would like, and then maybe a bit of controversy, a bit of spice. But yeah, battles would be nice. It's hard to overtake here as well, though. I mean, that's the one thing that I think worked maybe in FBL and Josh's favour in terms of the blocking, but then I think there are there's lots of ways to hold up, but I mean it's going to be very difficult if you lift and if you use certain tactics in particularly the first sector, even the second sector. I mean, you've got into the hairpin, which is an overtaking spot, but then out of there it's not super easy to overtake. Into Spoon, if you position the car correctly, you're in a good position to defend. There's plenty of parts of the track like that. We're busy out of turn 1. A lot of cars deciding to go at once. There's Blackbird, and Westerns is up the road. Lexus is just behind Blackbird, who I think is going to try and get a move on and get through that traffic. Grumpy Gamer is, I think, going to be the first one to get that lap in. Gunners is after. I think we'll keep an eye on probably Westerns again. Or maybe Blackbird. I think let's go with Westerns. I think let's go with Westerns because he is just that little bit further forward, and then we can chop back to Blackbird when we need to. Josh as well actually is the car behind Westerns as well. But here we go. It's the final qualifying lap of the season, and boy oh boy does it count. It's for the championship. You've got to get the best grid position possible, especially at Suzuka. It's very difficult to overtake here. First corner, here we go. It's going to be a bumpy ride. An absolute beast of a first sector here at Suzuka. Snakes back and forth and back and forth. You do have to be patient, stick it in the right gear and hope for the best, keeps it within the limits. That looked very tidy actually, but maybe it was too tidy. We'll see. Flicks it in, gets on the curb on the left, a bit of curb again in these corners. Curb is your friend here. And yellow flags. Oh, that's terrible! Oh, that. Oh. No one's fault, but I think that's gonna. That has to have cost him time. I don't think there's any doubt about it that had to cost him time. A few distractions going on there. That had to cost Weston's time. If he didn't lose any time from that, I would be shocked. Even if it was only a few tenths. Oh, he is up though. Maybe he didn't lose any. I mean, I would be amazed if that wasn't a distraction or if that didn't make him lose time. Oh, there's a white over the car. No, you shouldn't be doing that. Weston's across the line. Does improve, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And here comes Josh, who I don't think had the same traffic. Across the line we go, and Josh is P1. Blackbird, he can't better it. He can't improve. Kipper up to P4. Lexus has invalidated. That's what that makes me realise that we've got to remember it is on strict. Actually, everyone did a very good job from the looks of it not to score those invalidations. Josh does nip Blackburn and Westons to pole. I do wonder though. I feel like Westons must have lost time from that. I just don't see how he wouldn't have done, really. But apparently he was quicker in the second sector compared to the first run, so maybe he didn't lose time. I don't know what to say. I'd be shocked. I'd be really shocked if that didn't cost him time. But yeah, it's close. So top 3 tenths. Which for Suzuka, I think it's not too much. It looks like Kipper and Gunners will be fighting for fourth. Lex is a little bit of a way off in sixth. FBL, he's got to be frustrated because he's got a chance of winning the championship, but it's a long shot on that quali pace at the moment, if I am truly honest. But Josh is going to be his wingman tonight, baby, because he's in pole position. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say what I would do, but I honestly think like for me, I feel like there's a really obvious ploy and trick they could do, but it would still be a gamble. But I do think there's an obvious thing they could do. Whether or not Josh knows it, I don't know. I think it's fairly obvious, really. But I mean, I could message him and say what I would do, but I think I'll just leave it. But I think there is an option that they do have, but whether or not they do it or not, I don't know. And whether or not, as it stands based on qualifying pace, that 2-second gap, even if FBL does get out in front, I think it's going to be tough for him to hold on to that, really, based on the gap. But I think FBL needs, he needs Westons and or Blackbird to DNF or have a spin, hit each other, something like that happens. It is going to be very interesting. Having raced with Josh since F1 2020, I do think personally for me, he's the best wheel driver I've raced against. So his car control is amazing. Um, so I would trust him to do a very good job of holding up Westerns and Blackbird. But if something goes wrong, but I think it's unlikely to. You never know. You never know in these situations. But and it's going to be lights out early because there's no formation lap. It's a sprint, and the lights are out, and away we go. I think Josh has got the better of the starts here. He's cleared Blackburn and Westerns. And they're side by side. The two championship hopefuls on equal points. Actually, no, sorry, Westerns 6 points back. I need to remember that. Oh, he's in the wall! No! Oh, no! Oh, no! Westerns in the wall and out of the championship just like that. It's only a VSC as well. Only a VSC. I think probably could have been a safety car. Probably better for the race. That's a safety car. I mean, that is absolutely disastrous. Yeah, I don't know what to say actually about that now. I mean, that's just, yeah, I mean, that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. I think the only thing I would say is that I think Sector 1, it's very tricky to go side by side here. I would trust everyone in this league to be able to do that, because I think everyone's, generally great in this league. But that's just such a horrible way to end it. But it can happen there. It can happen. And just the angle as well. It just wasn't the right angle. Here we go anyway. Blackbird and FBL still remaining. Well, 1 down, 9 still in the race. Blackbird is chasing down Josh. FBL is only 7th. Maybe Josh just needs to guide Blackbird a little bit wide. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I think you can tell though, Josh is definitely slowing him down because it is only like a 10th. Like, he's got to do it though. He's got to do it. He's absolutely got to do it. And it is just going to make this race even more interesting. Blackbird's on him though. FBL is about 3.9 seconds off Blackbird. The only thing is, I would now say, is that we'd obviously have to see the onboard footage and things like that, but there is a chance that Blackbird would get a penalty, and it's not the way we would want the championship to be decided, but FBL up to 6th. I think FBL I think just needs to try and stay in touch of Josh and get at least, I don't know. The only thing is that, I mean, depends what penalty. I don't know if it would be such a tough call to, I think, give a penalty for that, and kind of, how much of a penalty do you give? And Josh is off narrowly, and Kipu might take advantage. Not quite. And Blackbird is now P1. And we've got a second Williams is out of the race. Both Williams out of the race. First Westerns and now Lexus. We've got the second VSC of the race. It'll be interesting actually to see. I mean, I think we'll probably have green flags by the pit straight, but would anyone gamble and pit under the VSC? I do wonder. I don't know whether that was a collision, though, or whether that was just a spin. Not sure. Wasn't paying attention to that area of the field. I think we're going to get green again in a minute. It looked like it flashed, so I presume that means it's coming in. And it's flashed again. Is anyone going to pit? I think it will be in though in a minute. I feel like it's probably ending. No one's pitted. Is FBL going to pit? No, no. There is one car in. It's Packer, the American. Yeah, is an eight. Yeah, we're green flag now, and DRS enabled. The front three separated by 5 tenths. Well, Josh was having a bit of a cheeky look right there. Kipu's on the mediums, actually, I've just noticed. There's a few drivers actually on the medium compound, like FBL, like Mikazolo, like Grumpy Gamer. We'll see. I think there's an element of we're just going to have to wait and see how this plays out over the next few laps, but I think it's going to be some close racing. Josh, I think could he have? I think he could have gone for that. FBL now 4.3 behind the leader. And Josh, oh, whoa, wow! Josh having a look there. I thought when that happened, he might have been side by side into Spoon, but not quite. But Blackbird isn't fleeing. He isn't getting away from his championship rival's teammate. And I think he'll have a go. He is. Blackbird going to park it in the middle of the track. Oh, and Blackbird a little bit squiggly, swoggly in the mid-corner. Josh as well. They're struggling with traction a little bit from the looks of it. The handling, maybe now it's as bad as F124 is said to be. And Josh is going to get in front of Blackbeard. I'll throw that in there at least once. Yeah, I'm actually just going to enable the telemetry just because I want to see. I do just want to kind of see how much he is backing up at times. It's fast and furious here, though, still. The top... Oh, my God, look at how close they are. It's about 5 tenths separating them. Into the hairpin we go. Look how close they are. I'm loving it. This is why I decided to commentate on it, to be honest. And Blackbird gonna have a look into Spoon. Josh is gonna do all he can for his Alpine teammates. Blackbird is gonna go to the inside. To the inside. Look at this. Look how close they are. And the turn. I feel like a crash could easily happen. We'll see. And side by side again. Oh, I am absolutely loving this, though. I am absolutely loving this. And here comes Josh again. Oh, it's Kipu. Kipu's going to go for it as well, you know. He is. And Kipu is he going to get on the inside here? In a way, would it be better for Josh to just let Kipu go, actually? Would it? Because he's not really in this fight, actually. Well, he is, but, like, would it... You know, would it just be better for Josh to just screw over Blackbird and like just see what FBL can do? I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe that's why I think maybe he's done this. I mean, Kipu's now a second up the road, isn't he? But FBL and FBL still ahead, but they're going to be side by side here. The Ferrari and the Alpine somehow they were battling to the first Degner. Unbelievable. But that does cost FBL even more time. Even more time. And I don't think he could afford to lose that time. Maybe he made a mistake somewhere. Again, I wasn't really keeping a close eye on that gap until that moment. So, but Blackbird's still third. Kipu has broken away. I think that is all part of Josh's strategy. We're going to see whether it works out or not by the end. To be honest, though, like, I mean, even for Blackbird, like, I mean, all he needs to really do is just stay ahead of FBL, or even just stay one position behind FBL. I mean, if Blackbird was like one place behind FBL, then he'd still win the championship. But I guess the problem with that is that, well, Josh is still a factor and could come and mess up Blackbird. But the front two are in now, looking to undercut Blackbird. FBL still out on the track. So to be honest, if I was Alpine, I think what they really should have done is FBL should have pitted quite early on in the race, perhaps. Although I think he was probably too far back for this to work. But if you had, maybe say on lap 5, theoretically, if Josh had been able to back them all up massively, and then FBL undercutted the lap before, and then because FBL would have been in clean air and not getting blocked, maybe then he could have gained quite a few seconds on, Josh and the drivers he was blocking. But that's just what I would have perhaps done. Whether or not it would work, I don't know, but maybe. I think Blackbird is still the clear favourite, but we just don't know, because if he gets a penalty, for lap 1, which is reasonable, I imagine it would be investigated, and that could drastically change things. But I wouldn't want to be making the call whether or not that's a 5 or 10 second or worse. I don't know. My gut would probably tell me it was a racing incident. Maybe, if it was Blackbird's fault, I'd probably not give maybe a 5 second, but I think it's a difficult place to go side by side, and I don't think from what I saw there was any drastic movement. But yeah, we'll see. Well, over halfway through the race, if you can believe it. As I said, it's only 13 laps of racing. We've got another 5 or so to decide the fate of the championship. Although, ironically, that probably will not be the end of it. We could see this championship decided in the stewarding boardroom at Ion headquarters. Kipu now, they're out in front. Blackbird, he definitely got undercutted by Josh there. Look at the gap. FBL now, softs. I think Josh has literally just got to wait for Blackbird, doesn't he, right here? If he wants to help out FBL. Yeah, Josh has got to slam the brakes on if he wants to help out FBL right now, because FBL is about 8 seconds off Josh. It's just that pace has been too much of a disadvantage. A retirement by Mikazola? I'm a bit surprised by that. Maybe could have just kept going. Kipu with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as we cross the Suzuka start-finish line for the 9th time. And at the moment, it's pretty much a line astern at the moment. Everyone's gaps are relatively even. There's quite an even spread. I'm not sure now what Josh is doing, because I think, as I said, he's got to not be selfish. But he's a very selfish driver, and he maybe still wants to win this race. He needs to drop back and help out his teammate and just block the living hell out of Blackbird. He needs to send Blackbeard back to the bottom of Ocracoke Inlet. And if you get that reference, you know your Pirates history very, very well. Send him all the way back to North Carolina, just off the coast. Yeah, I don't know. I'm confused, to be honest, because Josh isn't slowing down, and I don't quite understand that, because he I mean, I know it's a slim chance, but I'm surprised that I'm not. Oh no! And he's got no choice but to pit. Oh, he's gonna be frustrated about that. I think. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think that was. I mean, that was just unlucky more than anything. Yeah. I think one of them lost a bit of traction as well, which didn't help matters. So Blackbird, Josh, you've got to do something. Drop back and do your damn job. Drop back and do your damn job. That's the only way your teammate is going to stand a chance of winning the championship. But I don't know. I think he's given up on that now because he's a selfish driver. Because he's gaining on Kipu now, and that gap's pretty much stabilised, really. And we've only about 3 laps to go. So selfish Josh is going to go for his selfish sprint win. And as we all know, if Josh had started the season, I think he would have won it because he has gotten 145 points since appearing in Sprint, and that's only like 72 off Blackbeard and FBL. Actually, no, that's a good point though. I mean, they're level on points. I still stand by it. I think Josh, I mean, I don't know. He gets the win, fair enough, but I think when they're level on points, he could still just try and block the hell out of him. But, you know, I'm not the one in that cockpit. I mean, FBL is 40 seconds back now, though, so I think that's probably the game. The game is gone. The game is gone. I think my criticism would be that Josh should have done better. It's all Josh's fault. He didn't do enough. And I can't wait until the F124, which I know in confidence that Josh is dreading getting because he knows his tyre wear will absolutely suck. Right, 2 laps to go. Josh is going to go for it. Josh, what are you doing? You're the wrong way round. Maybe he is still trying to help out FBL. And, ooh, is that an illegal track rejoin by Josh? It could well be. I'm surprised, though, again, to see Josh make a mistake like that. Because even though I'm kind of making a lot of sarcastic comments about him, he is a phenomenal driver. And he's done that for the second time today. Whether or not, maybe it was a tactical, I'll swing it round under braking to see whether or not I can cause Blackbird to hit the back of me. But he has dropped back, and that is the race up for another driver. Is that brake bias, though? That's my only thought, whether or not that is a brake bias issue, because it's quite uncommon in these cars to see drivers lose it under braking when the car is set up right. A 3-second time penalty for Grumpy. That's not going to make a massive difference. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers after the race saying, never again Suzuka for a season finale. But I think it's just a shame probably Weston's DNF'd, because he would have been up there definitely. I think you are. I mean, the thing is, even if Blackbird gets a penalty now, FBL is going to be like 40 seconds back, unfortunately, for him. And Josh is going to have to settle for P3. Gunners is never getting a podium. I think he did recently, but yeah. Did Josh get wing damage though? Did he get wing damage? It doesn't look like it. I think Gunner's just faster than Josh. Absolutely. Josh is washed, clearly. Josh is washed. That does have a rhyming feel to it. I should have sent it there. I feel like, is he trying to back up Gunners? Either that or he does have some kind of damage, but I can't spot any on his blue and pink Alpine. But with Blackbird chasing down Kipu, I think this is his last race in Ion, as I understand, over the overpass. And the final winner of Ion Sprint on F1 2023 is Kipu. It's well deserved, but across the line we go, and the championship winner is Blackbird, which I think is deserved. There might be some controversy after this one, though, but well deserved. Well done, Blackbird. Very good driver. Very, very quick. Josh is going to get that third. Gunner's always not quite P6. A bit better than P6, but not quite the podium either. Couldn't quite capitalise on a surprise error for the second time by Josh. Packer, P5, good P5 for him. Grumpy Gamer, P6, well done to him. FBL, unfortunately, can only manage P7 as he crosses the line with, I guess, an action that sums up his feelings at the end of a disappointing race. Josh did all he could. FBL wasn't quite up there enough to take advantage, and Kipu ascends to the heavens there. And that is actually the final race in all of Ion on the F1 23 game. Yeah, there wasn't many penalties, actually. Again, fair play. Not many strict corner cuttings from the looks of it. Josh with the fastest lap of the race. Only P3 for him. That's quite bad for him, really. Only P3. All right. That will be the end of the commentary. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice rest of your night, day. This will be up on YouTube shortly. And feel free to subscribe, like, all that good stuff if you want to catch more, I guess, just general F1 videos. I don't really post too much properly on this channel. But yeah, bye-bye for now. See you in the next one.